Alrighty. All right, we're just gonna jump right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and we made it our mission to help you guys own it. And Fat Man Zoom, we got a great one today. But first, let's go ahead and hit them off with the starting five.
Starting five, we got John Gosson, Jim Souter, Parag Juneja, Jeff Chow, Tammy Johnson. You are our top five. Guys, welcome to Own the Chaos. This is our last day of the week. We go live every Monday through Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's been a hell of a day in the market. We are obviously primarily going to go talk about Apple. It's been a nice run. Got good news, autonomous driving news, EVs reacted subsequently. So we'll get into all that. That's probably going to be a lion's share of the conversation. We do have some earnings. We'll discuss some earnings this morning. We'll discuss NVIDIA yesterday. And then we have a couple earnings that we're interested in. Not the biggest day, but still a couple big dogs that we're going to watch after hours. So make sure you guys stick around. 4 o'clock, we will be turning our attention to Twitter and to the charts to react to the earnings. How'd it go today?
It went great for me. My NVIDIA calls went nuts. My Macy's calls went nuts, and it was great. I mean, thank God, because everything else was kind of not good.
Yeah.
DR Horton is still continuing to rip. The home builders are still just making my day every day, which is great.
Yeah.
But everything else just kind of like slid off a cliff. And but I'm up like 11% today, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's been. It seems like a few people are feeling the pain as well. But we'll get into those conversations, guys. It's Thursday, which is Freddie Valoy Day. We got our man Freddie Valoy in the house to provide some relief from the pain. Welcome, Freddie Valoy.
What's up, my man?
What's up, everybody? I'm out here in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina. So hello to the Chaos crew. What's up to you guys? Today, I want to talk about therapy. Gentlemen, go to therapy. Fellas, trust me. Not only will it make your life better in every possible way, but it will get you laid. All right? Trust me. You tell a girl that you're going to therapy and she'll melt. All right? Ladies, if a guy tells you he goes to therapy, make sure you just ask some follow-up questions, you know? That's the new thing now. These F-boys these days, they're evolving, all right? They might lie to you and tell you they're going to therapy, okay? Ask them for an invoice on the first date. You know, ask them for a screenshot, telehealth medicine. It's very easy to get therapy these days, all right? You know, I tell my buddy, hey, he's one of these guys that's like, I'll do anything for my family. I'll do anything. I'm like, hey, man, why don't you go to therapy? He's like, I don't know. I don't know if I could. I got a lot going on. He's got a lot of excuses, you know. This is the same kind of guys. These guys that are like, I'll do anything for my family. I'll do anything. I'm like, hey, why don't you stop cheating on your girlfriend or your wife? And once again, they're nowhere to be seen. They vanish like Batman. So just be careful for these guys, okay? No excuse. If you got some shit going on, go to therapy. Doctor-patient confidentiality is the shit, right? I mean, you can just tell them whatever you want. They legally can't tell them. I kind of hope they do tell my business, because then you got a nice little lawsuit going on there, right? They get a little coin in your bank and you can invest it more in the stock market, you know? When I met my girl, she used to lie to the doctor. And I was like, you're stupid. And one question for the Chaos crew before I get off here. That's all I got. It's a short one today. But let's just say, right, hypothetical situation, the Chaos crew has created a cocoon of protection, and there's been a zombie apocalypse. Will people in this chat, as a group, will we survive, right? So my first question is, who's got the guns, all right? My second question is, who knows how to grow food, right? Who's got strategy? Let me know, guys, in the chat. Will we be able to survive as a group? Who's got leadership skills? That's me. That's about the only thing I got. I can talk people up and get them hyped up, and we'll survive the zombie apocalypse, all right? Fat Man Zoom is going to be giving up his booty hole for the cause, too, all right? we just as a morale boost, okay? We're going to need some kind of release, and he's the guy for it, okay?
You're horrible, man.
And Brad is going to balance the books for us just to make sure whatever value system we have, whether it's water, copper, Brad's going to keep us in line. So
hey, I know how to grow shit too.
Okay.
I know how to grow shit too. I can do that.
Oh,
too.
you good? There you go. Look at that. Growing stuff.
Yeah.
Batman Zoom's got us in his department. We're good here, guys. Back to you guys.
Oh man, yeah. So thanks for that. Very insightful stuff. Definitely therapy is a good thing for sure. On a serious note.
You ever yeah, I forget who says it, but there's somebody who says the best line to tell somebody and to throw them for a loop around the holidays is to say, I hope you get what you deserve.
That's good.
Freddie, I hope you get what you deserve. What that is, it's only you know, my friend.
How I didn't even ask you how's your account doing today?
Oh God, not good.
Not good.
It's bad. Obviously Clover took a massive
Oh yeah, I forgot about
a lot of stuff was hammered. I'm trying to think. I mean, Clover was the biggest loser. Obviously, I still have Penn. There's well, I did have I had a starter position in Baba. So that was a lot of rough stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of rough stuff, people. Which, speaking of, so Baba had earnings this morning. They missed both revenue, earnings per share. They also slashed expectations on the flip end of things, and they just got hammered. JD.com did not, though. And we talked about this, which is what we put on the watch list. And we had said because like potentially higher growth, higher upside. I mean, guys, long term. I will say that. So the revised for Baba was growth was like projected to be around 25 to 28%. It got slashed about 20 to 23%. It might be tough sledding for them. However, I don't know. JD still looks good. So I don't know if necessarily like all the Chinese stocks are going to be hammered, but Baba, man, I got to make a decision as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, we're at 52-week lows for Alibaba. JD.com is still maintaining the trend and actually looks pretty good. It's up 5.5% today to your point. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's the chart looks tough. That's for sure. If I was somebody who was not in it, or if I was in it, certainly wouldn't be adding, and I definitely wouldn't be touching it just yet, because the bottom is just about to ready. Well, the stock's about ready to crash through the floor here. If it gets down to 138.43, or below, it's going to be really tough for Baba.
Yeah, and really, it's a rate of growth. JD's rate of growth continues to outpace. I mean, Baba's been around longer. It's a bigger company, so you expect the rate of growth to not be the same. But JD continues to roll. So maybe an interesting one to keep an eye on and to check out. But for sure, Baba is one to maybe not. To definitely wait for confirmation. So
yeah,
that was tough. One thing I did want to talk about was, sorry, I was just checking out the chat. Would you consider adding to Palantir, considering it's back near support and close to oversold territory? Can you pull up Palantir on the chart?
Yeah.
While that's coming in, Jeff Chow said, a question how to claim a loss on a stock. For example, can I sell a stock I have a loss on and then buy it back in January to report the loss on 2021?
Yeah.
It's a wash rule, so you have to wait the 30 days or 31 days or whatever that is. So if you did it now, January 1st, you have over 30 days, so you should be good. But yes, you can do that.
Palantir looks pretty rough right now too. That's also down around 4.5% on the day. I would say that we're getting pretty close. When it crashed through that 23 support, that's when things started to get ugly. So I would say we're getting close to where it's could potentially be establishing another support here around 21. It's at 21.50 right now, so I think around $21 even could be the next stop for it, just to kind of see if it holds up above there before I would consider doing anything to Palantir at this moment.
Yeah, it looks below support. At least I don't know which support you're checking, but
I'm looking at the 23 support. It was where it was at. But
sorry, I was talking to a car.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were telling me.
Yeah. So he just mentioned near support. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, that was going below that 23 was pretty tough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I sold Palantir today.
Yeah.
One thing I just do want to mention, and we'll talk more about tax harvesting and like selling stocks and trying to do write-offs, because that's part of what I'm in the process of doing, as I mentioned, was it's not just getting back into the same stock. With the wash rule, you can't get back into the same stock, but it's also you can't get into like stocks as well. So be cognizant of that, where like you're hard pressed if you sell. I mean, these are up, but let's say they were down. Like Nvidia, if you had AMD,
Yeah.
sold AMD and got into Nvidia, it's gray area. So if you want to use that money for something else, I would just go something that's like totally in a different sector, different space.
Yeah.
Real
quick, I wanted to ask Freddie, have you looked at your account lately? How are you doing?
I have not. I was told to not look at it. So I just need, but I do have another $1,000 that is cleared on Webull. So what should I do with that?
That's a good question. So, first of all, kudos to you for having the discipline to not look at it. But what do we got you in right now? We got you in Apple.
Apple, Lulu,
right.
Income Realty, not Crocs. I forget.
Ooh, Roku got hammered too.
Yeah, it did. Roku got really hammered. Okay. So I would consider probably just adding to what you already have.
Okay.
So, the positions you have obviously aren't that big. So I don't know if I would worry too much about diversifying yet until you get to a larger account size. So I would just, if you're continuing to add money to your account, like we always encourage folks to do, I think you would just continue to add to the stuff that you're in, because they're all doing relatively well. And so I think that would be the route that I'd go. I would do the same split if it were me, and just keep adding to it until I got to my account to a point. Or maybe let's just say Apple goes on a tear, which we're about to talk about. And it just starts taking up a huge chunk of your account, and then we can kind of evaluate, okay, do you need to trim off something in order to like maybe go buy something else with it or whatever. Okay. So we're not there yet. So once we get you to the point where we're having that kind of discussion, which is usually like once a quarter or something like that, then we'll talk about it. But I think for now, you just keep allocating to the stuff that you're already in as you add money to your account, and then that should be good.
All right, yeah, I like that. Both Eric say buy crypto. I'm definitely going to do that. And then Wakar, good point. I did have Disney as well. So,
oh yeah,
I doubt it's going to be a while before he sells anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because like this is not a trading account for you. This is a long-term investing account. Mm-hmm. So you may, if something's taking a large proportion of your portfolio, you may not want to add to it. But one thing you want to be cognizant of, if I were you, I wouldn't sell anything within a year because I'm not going to pay short-term capital gains.
Okay.
Like Disney, for example, is low. You could say Apple's running, maybe let Apple run, and Disney is a great opportunity to get a dip opportunity and maybe dollar cost average down, and also potentially just keep some of that cash sitting there. I don't know do you have a strategy as far as like, I know you said you have $1,000. Is this just you're randomly throwing money in there, or is it on a frequency? Is there some sort of schedule on how you're adding money to this account?
No, randomly. I don't have a strategy for anything really. Yeah. So, yeah. So I was just like, hey, I'm going to throw another 1,000 in there, yeah. So I'll do that. And then I'll probably put another $1,000 in crypto or something like that.
Yeah, housekeeping says Freddie should only be buying retirement accounts. I agree. Like long-term, retirement stocks. I agree. Also, we mentioned this. It's going to be really easy for you to succumb to all this stuff. Your allocations, you just said you were putting 1,000 towards crypto, 1,000 towards your stocks. The one thing I would be cognizant of is like what percentage is going towards crypto, because it could be easy to like put a ton towards it. And as long as you understand the risk, if you want to throw that towards it, great. But typically with like gold, crypto, stuff like that, the standard rule of thumb is like, I would say on the high end is what, like 25%
Yeah.
of your
Okay.
it's diversification. And I think that's what a lot of people fall victim to is like speculation. And so we're seeing like tough days like this, speculative stocks could be like get hammered. And so it's easy to make too much of your account speculative stocks. At the end of the day, Disney's not going anywhere. Apple's not going anywhere. These companies that aren't going anywhere, Shiba, we don't know. Doge, we don't know. And the reality is we don't really know Ethereum and Bitcoin. Obviously, it's probably the ones we're most confident in. But yeah, those are speculations. So thinking about how much money you're putting towards all your stuff is really important.
Okay.
Did you hear the CEO of Binance says he doesn't understand the point of Dogecoin?
Oh, really? No. I think he does.
I know. It's just funny to hear the CEO of a crypto, brokerage, whatever platform, say like, I don't get it.
Did the Doge on there?
Yeah, you can buy Doge. You can buy anything on Binance.
What's Binance? Is that a gay club?
What'd you say? Is that a what club?
Is that a gay club? Binance?
Binance is a broker. So I think you were using E-Trade, right? Is that how you're buying your stocks through?
Webull?
Oh, you're using Webull. Okay. Yeah, you're using Webull. So Webull is your middleman. Webull is your broker. So they're like basically your drug dealer, right? You give them money, they give you the goods.
Yeah.
The same thing with Binance, but it's for crypto. So you're giving them the money, they're giving you the goods, bro.
Okay, I like that.
Your broker is your drug dealer.
I
need a fix. Give me some Shiba.
Right here, baby.
Oh my god.
Where do I go?
Is that a gay club?
I will tell you, Amazon. Somebody mentioned Amazon earlier. I wanted to bring it to the table today.
Freaking out.
Feels like this is it.
Is
this it, Brad? 4K. And there's been some good news. Nothing. We've talked about it, but like it hasn't been made a big deal on Main Street.
Yeah.
Venmo partnership.
Yep.
They just announced a partnership with Starbucks. Did you hear about that? I
did not. No.
Starbucks like to go or something where they're partnering. This is actually the platform, which bodes well for Amazon. Shit. Sorry. I'm going to do this real quick. It like totally, I read about it earlier and it all of a sudden slipped my mind. I think it's like a grab and go quick, but I forget Amazon Go. I think it's the payment. Sorry, Starbucks Go. I think it's the payment method to it. Sorry, I got it right here, guys. All right. So partnership. Starbucks and Amazon Go collaborate for the launch of a New York City store. So the store allows customers to order ahead and bypass cash registers using Amazon's Just Walk Out technology. So it's a new concept. And we talked about this over COVID. Starbucks shifted their model to more grab and go models as well, which we thought was the smart move. This is just more of a frictionless process type deal. And why I like it is because it's more based on Amazon's technology, which we know has higher profit margins.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at the chart now, I mean, it's up 4.5% today. It's a monster move for Amazon. So, I mean, we're getting close to this. This might just be the breakout territory that we're talking about now. 3773.08 is the all-time high. It just touched 3,700 as we were talking. Really big monster move out of Amazon, and this could certainly be on track to hitting 4K by the end of the year. We still got plenty of time. It looks good here, but man, we've been waiting for Amazon to finally make the move, and it seems like it is. After earnings, really, it's just been on a go route all the way up.
So is this the move to 4K? That's all I care about.
Is Starbucks the move to 4K?
No. Like this move it's making, this breakout. Is it the move to 4K?
Yes.
Okay. Man, it feels like it, and I hope so. And it has been due, people. Starbucks has been due. We still need the split, though.
Yeah.
Andy Jassy.
Agreed.
D Nice says, Freddie is so not funny. It was that booty hole con. I agree. That booty hole comment. It was disrespectful. It wasn't funny. It was disrespectful.
Yeah, D Nice, you are partly correct.
I got to say this. I probably shouldn't say this, but I got to say this. How inappropriate. Like today we kind of, like we can say whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thursdays.
My girl texts me.
Oh.
She's watching.
I was gonna say you better not.
I'm not going to get in trouble.
Okay.
She said, so you're giving up the booty hole. Does this mean I can put my finger in your ass? And the answer is absolutely not. Ever. No. She never watches, or well, she does
And this
watch.
is the day that
But she doesn't go like this deep. Usually she kind of has it in the background, but
Yeah,
apparently Freddie's on since nonsense.
That's hilarious.
But Freddie said it was okay.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Anyways, back to regular scheduled programming. All right, let's talk about Apple.
I love her.
So
Apple.
you said the L word before I did.
Oh well, hey, it's love like a brother,
Yeah, I
not
got
that kind of love.
a sister.
Yeah.
So
I've seen
Apple.
those too.
where it's just literally the wheels have fallen off. There's no hope.
It all started with booty hole.
Yeah.
That's
In the
usually
booty hole.
where it does.
Yep. Listen, man, I've been in Dick's, and the jokes have not stopped. So I'm sure we'll get to that at some point in the show. But I am loving Dick's right now.
That's what you should buy, Freddie, to be honest. You should just buy Dick's.
By Dick's.
I like that one.
I bet you do. All right. So what stands out to me today? All right. So what happened with Apple? Come on, let's just get into it. Apple, big news, baby. Apple, big news.
Yeah.
Apple does well. All the EVs sell off. What happened? Tell them.
So Apple is on a tear today. It hit all-time highs and is continuing to climb today on news that they are potentially moving up their timeline for their EV, and then also that they are working on some autonomous features to the point, Fat Man Zoom, to where that they do not want a steering wheel in this motherfucker.
Wow.
They want to build an EV that doesn't have a steering wheel, doesn't have anything, so that you're no pedals, no nothing. You're just sitting in it and you're going from one destination to the next.
Yeah.
We know that Apple has somewhere in the vicinity of $230 billion in cash that you're just sitting on, burning a hole in their pocket. I'm not saying that Apple's going to spend that kind of money on this EV, but if they have the money, they might as well do something with it. And so this seems to be the route that they're going. I think that potentially it is why we're seeing Rivian tank today. A lot of the other EVs tank today. Could be a buying opportunity for some of them, not Rivian in my opinion, but I think that this is still a ways off. It's 2025. That's a very short time period to build a car that doesn't have any steering wheel, no pedals, no nothing, and just goes wherever you tell it to.
Do you think it's even going to get approved like 2025? I have a tough time thinking that like regulators and politicians, like they're so short-sighted and they're so like narrow-minded. I feel like they don't care about the technology, just the fact that like there's no fail-safe, like grabbing a steering wheel. Do you think that causes problems? Just the idea behind it?
100%. Like that's why I'm like 2025 seems like it's very, it's not that far away. It's 4 years. It's going to be here and gone. But so I think that it's very ambitious. I mean, we thought that we were going to have robo-taxis from Elon this year. Yeah. That was 2 years ago. So I don't think that that's actually going to happen in any short order. But if there's a company that could do it, Apple certainly has the money to make something like this happen.
Okay. So a couple questions. First question is, will Apple create a car without steering wheel and pedals?
Give me a timeline.
In the next 10 years.
Yes.
5 years.
No.
Okay. When will Apple deliver a car at the soonest? Any car.
I think they could deliver a car by 2025. I think that's feasible.
Okay, 4 years.
Yeah.
Which I think is still very aggressive.
Yeah.
Right? Like if they do it within by 2025, that'd be really, really good.
Yes.
No hiccups, no nothing.
Yeah. But you think about this. I mean, the amount of money that's gone into EVs right now. I mean, yes, Tesla is a $1 trillion market cap, but they haven't spent that kind of money
No.
to be able to make the cars that they have. So if Apple chose to do so, they could make a car that blows everybody away. If they wanted to, they could.
Okay. And let me set the stage, because I think some people don't realize this. So we've talked about first mover advantage.
Yeah.
But also when you think about business, there's certain positions people take. So there's companies like Apple. There's always this debate in business about, is Apple actually innovative? Apple makes stuff better. They don't necessarily create new things. They make stuff better.
Yeah.
So depending on how you define innovative, it really it depends. It's questionable on when you think Apple is innovative, but what you can't debate is they make things better.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, you have a first mover advantage, which I would argue that Tesla was sort of the first mover in the space. Like, were there EVs before? But yes, but they did it and they executed it when nobody else thought they would. That gives them some sort of advantage, loyalty, exposure, blah, 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 blah. The problem with that is they now have sort of given the blueprint that everybody can follow. So it took Tesla so long. Now they can do it much, much, much quicker.
Yeah.
So somebody else coming in, especially someone with capital, Apple has a cash hoard, so they can use the cash. They can, I don't know to what extent, but they can execute much quicker.
Yeah.
So that's sort of their advantage. This feels like typical Apple. Somebody did it. Somebody shows it could work. Somebody shows it their interest. And what we're just going to do is we're going to do it better than you.
Yeah.
They did it with the phone. They did it with the iPod. They've done it with the Mac. They've done it every step of the way. So I think this could be another example of a hardware that they do better than everybody else.
Yeah. And imagine the possibilities. If you do create a car that has no pedals and no steering wheel, no nothing, it's just a transport essentially to take you from A to B, and then you have your iPhone and you have all of your other equipment, your MacBook and all that's now connected to your car. Your car is essentially just another piece of tech equipment to you, and it's that to me is mind-blowing if they do pull this off, which I have confidence in them that they can.
Yeah, I agree. And you think about what the foundation of Apple's built on is perfect for EVs. They're built on, it's sort of an intuitive user experience, simplistic, straightforward. That type of stuff. You think about how is it going to look? You walk into your car, you might just put your phone in the car and then all of a sudden things come on the screen and whatever. So that part is where cars are going to separate themselves. You think about the technology inside the car, what is now possible. And so it could definitely be one of those things that they just find a way that it's just, that technology is just better because, the frame, four wheels, that's great. But how are you going to differentiate yourself? I think it's going to be sort of the technology and obviously distance and range and stuff like that. But I think everybody's going to kind of end up in the same spot with range, battery life, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. It's range and charge time, right? Those are the key addressers. If you can get that down, then it's the experience that people care about.
I agree.
Sean brings up a good point with the data collection that's needed for an autonomous car. What do you guys think of that?
Sorry, but autonomous cars are not the same. The data collection is needed. Apple doesn't have vehicles on the road. Yeah, I mean, is it true? Isn't all their data public, or is it just specific pieces of the EV build out?
I mean, their data, it's not public. I think that they have the information. I don't think it's all public.
Okay. I mean, maybe
here's the thing. I mean, doesn't Apple, you have GPS on your phone. Can't it just be just as simple as that? Apple's extracting data from your phone and your hardware and all that stuff all day, every day, everywhere you go. So why, I don't know why that would be a whole lot different than it is.
And Elon's about
Mhm.
giving the information for the cause, right? So if Apple's jumping in the game through his philosophy, he should be able to give that information,
Yeah,
right?
that was kind of my point. Is like there might be. I agree. Like getting cars on the road is obviously going to be the huge step, but you've got to imagine they've already tested cars somewhere.
Yeah.
Like they're not, I would imagine
Yes.
they've done that. Now, maybe not on the main streets. Maybe they built like whatever, a track or something. But like to your point, if they can get it to work, then you just integrate it with maps. I'm really oversimplifying this, but the reality is you're right. Their key advantage is they already have a map system, and that's going to be an interesting integration. Although Apple Maps sucks.
Yeah. I'm just saying, just as a concept.
Yeah. No,
know?
I agree. I don't know, but technology does move fast, and them getting something on the road, I don't know if that takes as long as you would necessarily think, but it's a fair point.
I see a lot of people asking questions about this. Raul Torres brings up a point. Just says Apple has too much ground to cover for self-driving cars, no real GPU connection, car capability, and all that good stuff. I definitely understand you, and that was kind of like my knee-jerk reaction too, my man. But here's the thing. I don't think people understand how much money they just have sitting, not doing anything, and how much money it actually took for Tesla to do what it's doing right now is a fraction of what Apple has just sitting there. So like money could pretty much buy anything at this point, and Apple can just resource whatever they need to get this off the ground. And don't get me wrong, I don't think this is going to be a mass produced car either. I think this is going to be for the rich people. I don't think it's this middle class car that they're going to be creating here. So I don't. For all we know, this could just be a passion project, and it's something that they're not going to be able to mass produce. Period. And that's just kind of how it's going to be. But I don't think that we're going to be seeing Apple cars zipping around like we're seeing Tesla cars even 10 years from now.
Well, and bear in mind, also understand how Apple works. Apple is not the company that they're pretty tight-lipped. So we don't know how far along they are in this stuff. When you think about the iPhone and how it launched, they kept that under wraps for a very long time, and they only really tell you when it's ready. Now, stuff does leak, but they do a good job of keeping that in-house. And so I would imagine they are further along than we have any idea about.
I would agree.
But they're going to face delays. 2025 is hella ambitious. I think we can all agree on that. But do they make acquisitions? There's certain things they can do with that money that can sort of shorten that timeline. Apple, if anybody's going to be able to speed that up, it's going to be Apple. So remains to be seen. The market is now closed. We do already have Intuit numbers in for earnings. Earnings per share estimates were 99 cents. They came in at $1.53. Nice. Sales, 1.81 billion. Estimates came in at 2.1. Solid beat.
Stock is up 7.5% right now. That is rock and roll. And I was just looking at Applied Materials that's now down 6%. So a little bit of opposite tails of the tape here. Stock, I mean, look at this. Talk about boner candle.
Woo. Wow.
Going off.
That thing took a blue chew.
Yeah. That is crazy. So really big move on that. What was those numbers again? Run them back.
So estimates were 99 cents a share, came in at $1.53. Revenue 1.81 billion, came in at 2.01 billion.
So they beat earnings per share by 50%. And the stock's still ripping. Went up to 690. That is crazy. After closing the day at 628. So really nice move out of Intuit. Applied Materials is down, kind of the inverse of what Intuit's doing right now.
Housekeeping said looks like a person sleeping in their bed for that last one.
Well, what's for Intuit? Let me see.
Yeah, that was Morningwood.
Oh yeah. Look at this.
Cambiz says, Cambiz, I'm going to pronounce it that way. So I have had most of these tech companies as clients, and honestly, the majority of the big players can make this happen if they wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
they don't care. Like, they have the money to do whatever the hell they want.
Sam thinks the data lead Tesla has is massive. Every car in their million-plus fleet is collecting off them every day. That's a fair point. All the beta users are using a lot of the work for them too. Miguel Monti says, is money enough? Where's the expertise to do it? Will they do it by 2030, Brad?
They just hire people to do it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
will. I mean, does anybody think that before, like, what do you think that your MacBook was made up of before they started to create their own M1 chips? It was Intel.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't do it themselves. They got somebody to do it for them. And then, obviously they had some of their own hardware in there, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to resource the right people to be able to do this, and they have the money to do that. And so that's why I think it's going to happen. And it's somebody else I mentioned the GPS isn't enough for full self-driving. I'm aware of that. I'm just saying, like, they can get the data that they need. And I was just using GPS as an example.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, GPS is a very viable point. Like that's data that's important to have, and so it does give you a little bit of an advantage moving forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is all speculation, but if I had $1 trillion, I could do a lot of shit too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like we're
I
not.
know that. I know they don't have a
I like where
trillion.
Carmike's head is at. He says, Apple going to space next. LOL. Look out, SpaceX. I like the.
Yeah, it's interesting that they didn't follow suit with that, but I'm not surprised that they ended up going the car route. And then who knows? Maybe they'll go into space later. But I think that the car route makes sense for Apple when you just think about how they can integrate all the other electronics that they make for consumers. I think this just makes the most sense to kind of be the next thing that they work on.
Yeah, well, that in the metaverse.
Yes, but my point was, like, you're in your car almost every day. Most of us are in our cars almost every day. You have your phone on you every day, right? Like, you're using your computer almost every day, if not every day. So that, like, just like everyday uses. And I think that the car makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Spaceships are not viable business models. Those are passion projects for people.
Yeah.
Can they make money? Yes, but there's just so much risk around that. A company like Apple, that definitely cars are like the better route for them for sure.
Yeah.
So there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, I just want to say real quick, speaking of the metaverse, we didn't talk about that. The glove technology, the tactile technology for the metaverse.
Yeah.
So Freddie, Facebook is I forget what it's called, but there's this glove that you can slide on now that's basically like tactile feel. So in the metaverse, you'll be able to feel it has like air that goes throughout it. And so like you can feel when like if you try to pick something up or something hits you or whatever, it's part of the metaverse. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. We're moving along.
All I can think
Wow.
about.
Yeah. I'm surprised they changed their name so quickly, like to show it like, user experience type thing. I thought that was going to take like a few months or something.
Here's another point. That's another example. Facebook, how long is this stuff? I think they said that that was in the works for 7 years, that glove.
Yeah, nobody knew.
I think it was like 7 years. Yeah, so that's the point. Like, we found this out, but this has been nearly a decade of this stuff. So that's probably the best example of like Facebook, same thing. They keep a tight lip and they release it. So it feels quick to us because we haven't been in the loop, but to them, it's been a decade.
Well, and Apple leaks this shit on purpose. If you don't think that, then
I
mean, like when we all found out that they had been working on a car and they're potentially partnering with Hyundai or whatever, like that was probably in the works well before we all knew about it. Like, it wasn't like something that we just discovered and it was, I don't know, breaking news.
Yeah.
So Applied Materials, do we have any numbers on Applied Materials yet? Stock is down to 7.5%. All I can think about the metaverse is just how people are going to use this for sex. Like, just the industry itself is just going to go crazy in the metaverse.
Oh yeah.
Like the porn industry. Holy shit.
Yeah. I've heard people that have VR sets. Okay. The only problem is that there's not enough VR porn. And
patience. I would say this is a surprise. They missed on revenue and slightly on earnings per share. Estimates were $1.95, and it came in at $1.94. But revenue, $6.34 billion, came in at $6.12 billion. May have lowered guidance, which is surprising.
That is very surprising. Applied Materials has been a star here as of late. I mean, a huge breakout. We saw that we've talked about this over the last couple of weeks about how this has kind of been in a sideways channel on the chart, and that this breakout was something to behold for sure. But now it's fallen back into that channel. So I'm sure that that's where this is going to open up. Right now, it's trading at 147 after closing the day at 158.
Yeah.
So that's going to put it just below this sideways channel that we've kind of had here for quite some time. So will remain to be seen. I think Applied Materials at this point, now that it's back in this channel, certainly has the capability of coming back down to that mid 120 area. So keep an eye on that, guys. If it does come back down to the 124, 125 area, I think I would look at this as an opportunity. The materials sector in general is going to be worth holding on to, but I think you got some time on this one at this point. That's pretty tough.
Palo
Danny,
Alto.
I think we're saying the same thing. Sorry.
So Palo Alto earnings per share estimates were 157, came in at 164. Beat on earnings per share, also beat on revenue, 1.2 billion, came in at 1.25 billion.
Man, Palo Alto's reporting already again.
I know.
I just can't believe how quickly this quarter's gone. Stock's down 3.3%. It needed to cool off. I mean, this isn't too much of a bad reaction, I don't think, especially given the way that this has moved. Here's the bigger opportunity, I would think. CrowdStrike, if Palo Alto's reporting today, CrowdStrike should be reporting in a couple weeks, maybe. When did they report last? 8:30, yeah. So towards the end of the month. So CrowdStrike took a dump today too. It was down around 2%. So this is the same. If you guys don't know where I'm headed with this, CrowdStrike is also in the same industry. Palo Alto is in cybersecurity. CrowdStrike is also in cybersecurity. CrowdStrike is the bigger company. Does this indicate what CrowdStrike might show us in their earnings? I'm not sure. So what I would do though is I still think that cybersecurity is not going anywhere, and I would just look for some opportunities here, maybe around 250 if it does have any kind of sympathetic reaction to what Palo Alto is doing right now.
What's up, Claudia? Shout out Daniel Camarena. Claudia said she loaded the boat on crypto.
Yeah.
Is now the time to load the boat on crypto?
I don't know, man, because we talked about on Stockwatch Sunday and earlier in the week about that 60K mark, and it broke below that $60,000 support.
Yeah.
So I think that there's some room for this to come down a little bit more. I mean, look at this chart. If you can tell me where the next support's going to be for this, and it's sometime soon, then I would say, yeah, okay, then that makes sense to add to it here. But it broke that support. If you added to it at 60 because it was kind of holding that area, definitely wouldn't be mad at anybody. But I think loading the boat would be a little bit, I would be nervous if I was doing something like that. I think that adding to it here and then maybe looking to see if it holds now, because I think, we've seen crypto do some crazy shit before. So I think there's certainly potential for this to come down to like 53.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the next area that I'm looking at on the chart for this to potentially come down to. Now, I mean, who knows? Maybe we see some sort of catalyst from Bitcoin over the weekend, whatever, and it comes right back up. But with this move down, it's technically breaking through some supports here. So I think the next stop for it would be around that 53.5 area for Bitcoin anyway.
How's Ethereum doing?
My Shiba.
Is it staying above 4K?
My Shiba's been cut in half.
Doubling down?
No. Ethereum. I forgot.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I got to pause. Claudia, I just repeated the word you said. I loaded the boat on crypto! ! I said she loaded the boat. Then you go, well, not full position, and then said, no, I did not load the boat.
Jeez, which is it?
Get it together. And then when
fire it hot, I get it.
I gotta start it. I'm just kidding.
Housekeeping says, careful, CrowdStrike has the government contract.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I like CrowdStrike over Palo Alto, but sometimes when you look at companies that are in the same industry and one reacts poorly to earnings, usually can be an indicator on how the rest of it's going to work out. We see that a lot with like social media platforms. It's usually like, I don't know, Snapchat ends up reporting before all the other social media platforms, and then they all react to what Snapchat's earnings are doing. So I think that we could, potentially see that with a CrowdStrike as Palo Alto continues to sell off. So, I still like CrowdStrike over Palo Alto, but I don't think you go wrong with owning either one of these.
I don't know if you noticed, but do you feel funnier when Freddie's around?
Do I feel funnier?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I feel funnier when Freddie's around. Like, I feel like my jokes are better when Freddie's around. I think there's something about I honestly, I'm no bullshit. I think you're funnier when Freddie's around.
I'm funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's a thing. And Freddie, I'd love your thoughts on that. The only reason I'm saying this is I think our community is funnier when Freddie's around. Now, maybe they're not funnier, but they're more apt to make jokes.
Yeah.
So I just want to shout out the community because I'm like loving these comments. Miguel Monti said it was a small boat.
Yes, I love that one. Love it.
I think they're funnier when Freddie's around.
Maybe it's just like
thanks.
the vibe changes.
Yeah, like you're in that mode where it's just like
We're just
what do you think about that? Do you think I've noticed when you're around Freddie, people make more jokes? They think they're comedians.
I've been told that. It's a huge compliment. I guess I make people comfortable to kind of
Work on their
take
material.
chances like that. So that's a huge compliment for me. Thanks, guys. Thank you, housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
House.
this German.
Savvy said, I told you, Brad. Mana ENJ never. Yeah, okay.
He did. I mean, no, he in Twitter, he's been in my ear on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those going up? How much are those up?
I don't know.
You don't have to look. I'm just saying. I'm sure he's going to let us know in about 3 seconds how much they're all up. Because I feel like a lot of all of crypto feels like it's going down right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gone crazy, so we're seeing
Yeah.
a little bit of correction, and that. I mean, how many times we see this out of crypto? I mean, you should be used to it by now.
If it's okay, is there any other topics you want to discuss? Because I want to have some general conversation.
Yeah, I think I'm good. So just to recap, guys, if anybody was here, we're curious about earnings. Palo Alto missed earnings, and it was kind of pretty sucky. Applied Materials was the biggest surprise. They missed across the board. So they missed revenue, they missed earnings per share, and they also lowered guidance. Intuit came in, smashed it. That stock's up 7.5%, but that's all I got. What do you want to chat about?
Algorithm comes up. I want to talk about Rivian. And I want to talk about it as a general overall strategy. And I like telling you guys these stories about the calls and the texts I get. Playing basketball with a buddy yesterday. We talked, and he originally wanted to get into Rivian. And so hit me up on IPO day. I was like, yo, just set a limit order for whatever you're happy with it being whatever. He works full time.
Yeah.
So he ended up, I said, if it was me, if I wanted to get in, I'd probably do like $80. But if you really want to get in, I think $100 is probably like a good spot. So he put an order in for $100. He got it for $100 on IPO day.
Great entry.
Really good entry, yes. And so we've had conversations, and he's like, puff chested,
Feeling himself.
yeah, Rivian's killing it. We're having this conversation. He's like, do you think I had? Do you think whatever? And I'm like, if I had it, I would just be adding anytime it goes under $100. I'm like, but I showed him other IPOs. I'm like, this spike is normal, and a lot of times it just dwindles out until earnings. I said, I'll probably wait till after their first earnings. If it runs, I keep making money. But if it drops down, I'd add. If I felt confident about this company long term, because he wants to buy one.
Yeah.
All right. So I felt that was fair. And he was telling me how his grandma was pissed at him because he didn't get Rivian for her, and it went off. He was talking trash to his mother's boyfriend because his mother's boyfriend said you shouldn't buy it. He didn't get it. He's like, see, look. And then I get a text from him today. Should I sell Rivian? And I said to him, he said, should I sell Rivian? It's going down quick. You know, those emotions are going.
Yep.
And he's like, I was up. He said I was up 40%. Now I'm up, whatever it was. And he goes, I just laughed. I said, what was your exit strategy when you got in? He's like, long haul, really. But I mean, should I sell and grab lower? And what do you even say to that? Because here's the thing,
but the thing is you get that question. We get that question
all the time. What do you think I said?
I don't know.
What would you have said? Should I sell and get lower?
I would have said, well, I usually answer that question with a question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what is your What's your time horizon? Like, how long do you plan on holding this? Did you have an exit plan before you even pushed the buy button? Like, what was the impetus behind even just buying this in the first place?
Yeah.
Other than making the fast money.
And I'm so like, it's just so crazy hearing these questions. Like, you were all in yesterday. Should I add? We talk about this all the time. It's dropping down and you're selling it like you just said you're in it for the long haul. So my best answer was, so he's up 20%. I said, if you're happy with 20%, then sell it.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, then don't. It's just like, it's just funny to see people like, especially people that, and he, this person, he has a ton of money in Apple, and Apple, he's never sold. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, what's your biggest win? Apple. How many times did you sell that? 0, right? Like if you have conviction and you're in it for the long haul, this whole timing thing is unbelievable. I don't understand why people think they actually can time the market.
Yeah. So is this individual the individual that has the Tesla?
Yeah.
So I know he's like repeating himself because he did this with GameStop.
True.
So same thing. So I think that at some point, and this is just a lesson for everybody, is just you got to take profits. When you get into stuff that's this speculative, I mean, I would imagine that this individual had no idea why they were buying it in the first place, other than the fact that it was a cool ass car. It's an EV. And as for a lot of people, including the institutions that are out there, bought this because they felt like they missed a boat on Tesla. And I think that's why this has been moving up. So like, there's been like a lot of FOMO surrounding it. So like, before you push that buy button, you got to know how you plan to exit out. And we even talk about this in business. When you start a business, how do you plan to end it? What's the end game? Where are you getting to? Is it that you just want to sell the business one day and you want to build it up and so you can just ride off into the sunset, or are you just going to, get into business until you die and then it just goes down to your kids? What is it? What's the plan? So same thing for getting into stocks. Where do you see Rivian ending? And do you want to be around when that happens? And if not, then you're out and then you just take the money when you're happy. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely rule number 1, I would say, is before you push buy, know why you're buying. And then rule number 2, know how you're getting out.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's similar to GameStop in the sense of somebody just actually, no, it was a lot of people were talking about it, but it's different in the sense of he was just trying to make a quick buck with GameStop and he did sell. But with Rivian, he's like, I really love the car. I'm going to buy a car.
Okay.
I want to invest. If you're going to do that and you're in it for the long haul and you're like, whatever, I'm fine with, like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with throwing fundamentals out of the window if you're like, it's my car and I'm rolling with it. Now, he has Tesla stock, and as part of that, like contributing to this, the fact that he was successful with Tesla and he loves Tesla, maybe. But if you're buying it and you're on, I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. But getting it at $100 is probably not bad.
Yeah.
But I think this is also Freddie just considering that, like, it's easy to remember the good times and the good things, but like, you're going to learn far more from like these times. Like when there's a hype stock, remember this point right here, Rivian, which ran an SEV ran 100. So there's a solar EV company ran 150% in a day.
Yeah. Check this out, Freddie. So SEV, they just went public yesterday, which by the way, we didn't check on, Sweetgreen.
Sweetgreen. Yeah, you're right.
But the stock went up 150% yesterday.
Whoa.
Just out of the bat. This is a stock, or it's a car. They're making a car that is chargeable. It's just like an EV, but you can also charge it with the sun. So it's solar powered too.
Oh, damn. What
ugly.
What news caused that? Like what event caused that
It
spike?
just went public.
So you could buy it for the first time yesterday or 2 days ago. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday it started trading.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You would have heard about SVEV from all your friends, and you would have been like, Fat Man Zoom, B Smith, SEV's up 150%. Should I add it? And you probably wouldn't have listened. You probably would have bought it, and then it would have sold off, and you would have been down, whatever, 70%.
Yeah.
So Brad says it all the time. Sell into strength, buy into weakness. These are, if you believe in a company, I'm not saying SEV's a buy by any means, but like a drop is when you're looking to buy things is when you're looking to buy things. When it's red and it's selling off, like not the best time unless you're just out on the stock and don't want anything to do with it anymore. So when you're ready for a stock, look for a red day, man.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, real quick, Freddie.
Yes.
Sure.
Our boy Johnny P's in the house. I think he's trying to troll my ass.
Yeah.
Asking how my portfolio is. That's cool, Johnny. My portfolio is doing just fine. I hope that you tuned in that day because I got zero response from you, and here you are showing up because Penn is down, and you think that's the only stock I own.
Yeah, I noticed a comment earlier about that. I think people, Penn, Clover for me. I know I'm the poster child for Clover, which I think people forget those are free shares. So it's a little bit of a different story.
I know,
people are asking. I wouldn't buy Clover right now. Could it go back to 7? Sure. I wouldn't buy it right now. The offering was more than they initially thought. So yeah, it's a tough sled, but they're free shares for me. So it's a different sort of play. Penn obviously didn't do well. We still have high conviction on that, but like,
you think that's the only thing I own? Like today I had an incredible day because of my diversification.
Well, let me do this for you. Airbnb. If you're going to talk about Penn, you got to talk about Airbnb, right? Because those were on the same time frame, conviction wise.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk about any other stock that went down today, then you've got to talk about Apple. You've got to talk about Macy's. You've got to talk about Google. You've got to talk about Nvidia. All these things, Brad, just as much had conviction on and brought to the table. Unfortunately, people get caught up in a couple of things, and we've made it very clear: speculative versus non, and having a balance and having a diversification. We've both fallen victim to it. I mean, last year you were over leveraged in pandemic plays, and you were like, okay, I'm getting hammered, I'm reallocating. But yeah, the point is like, okay, come over here about Clove, but like Nvidia was an absolute monster. Macy's was a bigger monster. So this is his stuff. This isn't even my stuff. So
Dick's.
I'm just being a neutral party, and he loves Dick's. There was so much Dick's, he didn't know what to do with himself. So if you're going to talk about that, talk about all the Dick's that like he has no more space for. He's literally filled every orifice in his body with Dick's. That's how much he loves Dick's.
I got Dick's. I have Dick's. I wear it all over me.
Yeah. It's like nothing comes out of his mouth more than Dick's.
Except maybe Affirm. A lot of people shouting out Affirm. Affirm was a huge
Affirm Dick's. Those two, no bigger combo. Affirm Dick's. That's Brad.
Oh man. Yeah, everybody forgets about Affirm.
Yeah.
Where else? Oh,
Tiger's Edge. I haven't looked at them, but I think Brad said they're doing okay. I did have Airbnb as well. That's another one. That was the last one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Airbnb killing it, bro.
We'll do something, Freddie, like maybe the first Thursday of the month or whatever, like the first Thursday of the month, we'll check. We'll just get an update from you. That way you're not checking.
I like that
a lot.
I like that.
Yeah, how long has it been now? Have you been in there a month yet?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's been exactly a month.
We're not doing the live stream on Thanksgiving, right?
No.
So the week after that, Freddie, that'll be the first week of December. We'll look at the portfolio.
Oh, that's perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, lots. Oh man, Jeff, I feel you, brother. Jeff, you're in a lot of speculative stuff, man. I hope you balance that out.
He does balance it out. Jeff kills it too.
Okay, good.
He's very
What's
well
up, Jeff?
And Jeff, he actually, like, every trade that I make, shout out to the Chaos Crew because we haven't plugged that at all today. But Jeff's in the Chaos Crew and he tracks every single one of my trades and he kills it. Like he sends me like a spreadsheet, all that shit, which is pretty awesome.
He tracks it as in he writes it down and gives you your returns, or he actually like follows your trades?
A little bit of both. He doesn't follow it exactly, but he will track my trades and then send them to me, being like, you know, here's what happened if you'd just held into this or whatever. So like he'll give me like some of the returns on the calls that I've made, but like, yeah. So shout out to Jeff. Jeff puts in work big time.
You think he has dicks? Does he think he has a bunch of dicks?
Yes, loads of dicks.
Who remembers that?
Everybody's got a little bit of dicks in some way or another.
I remember Sundial. Sundial was a Giant mover. That was great. That was a great move too.
All right, man. I think that's a good note. Guys, hit the thumbs up. Give us that love at the very least. I wish you a better day tomorrow for those of you who got hammered today. And for those of you who did well, I wish you continued success. Freddie, any last words, my friend?
No, man. I love you guys. Shout out to the Chaos Crew. Sign up to my Patreon. $5 a month gets you extra content. If you're into like family and relationship content, you want to hit that up. Next month, I'll be starting I'm reading Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, and I'll be going through that on my Dolo cast. So sign up to be in on that. Thank you guys.
Is that Patreon /
patreon.com/Freddie Valoy.
There we go. Thanks, guys. You can go follow him at Freddie Valoy on IG as well. Freddie, thanks so much for hanging out, man. We certainly appreciate you and everybody else in the crew. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for Stock Watch Sunday. Batman Zoom.
Make sure you hit the notification bell and to subscribe. Our options video is coming out tomorrow. That earnings video, we were able to get it back. So 3 ways to play options in earnings. Check it out. Bye.